Hi there, my friends. It's Laura the Teach. Today's lesson is going to be about AU. Now, AU looks like a vowel team, and you might want to say, oh, when two vowels go walking, the first does the talking, and so that would say A. But in this case, it doesn't. This is an unusual vowel team, which isn't a vowel team at all. We say aw, aw. Now there are two other combinations that say aw as well. There is a W, which says aw, and then there is also a L or ALL that says aw for the A sound. But in this case, it would be all. So you hear that ah sound in these three combinations. But for this lesson, we're just going to focus on the AU that says ah. I think of a way to remember that is you see a cute little kitten, ah. Or someone says really something sweet to you and you get embarrassed and you say, ah. So when you see AU, think of ah. We're going to practice some words today that has AU in them. Now, when you are writing words with AU usually comes in the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word, never at the end. So when you are writing, AU comes in the beginning or in the middle. We'll talk about the other aw combinations in another lesson. So what does AU say? Aw, aw. Let's look at our words. Now this first word is on a calendar. We see AU in the beginning of the word aw, and then if we look at the rest of the word, gust, August, August. That is the month in the calendar. Maybe you have a birthday in August or you know someone that does. Our next word. Now, look at that. It's two syllables. Haunted. Haunted. So I said haunted. Haunted. Have you ever been to a haunted house at Halloween time? This is something that never seems to end. Let's look at it. Laundry. Laundry. Look at the H brother Charlie at the end of that word. Launch. Launch. Don't get confused with lunch because there's an AU in there. Ah, launch. You might launch a rocket, which means you shoot it into the air. Now this kind of goes in the fall. It's another word for fall. We have autumn. And in this case, the N is silent at the end. That's a really unusual rule. Remember, English is a difficult language to learn when you are reading and when you are spelling. So, autumn, autumn, that's when fall begins. We kind of had a part of this in another word. Haunt, haunt. In a haunted house, the ghost like coming around and saying boo and trying to haunt you. Now, this is an example of that silent E that we discussed in another lesson, where silent E does not make a vowel long. It's just silent. Whenever E is at the end of a word, we don't hear it. So, pause, pause, which means you take a little break. You stop. Look at that one. This is a different kind of rule that we haven't talked about just yet. That's a Y. Now, this word has 2 syllables. And when a word has 2 syllables and it ends with a Y, the Y says a long E sound. So let's look at this part. Faulty, faulty, which means it doesn't work very well. Remember, AU says aw, taunt, taunt. When you're bugging someone, hey, hey, mom, 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 that's taunt. Here's a boy's name. Paul, Paul, Paul. Again, there's a silent E at the end. It does not make a vowel long here. It's simply silent. Cause, cause. Fault, fault. When it's someone's fault, it means that they did something and they might not be owning up to it, or they may say that, yes, I did that. There's the H, brother, theater, or author, the person that writes a book. Haul, haul. This is when you carry something in a truck or you're pulling something across the grass. You haul it. Here's a big one. Let's see how you can do. Astronaut. Astronaut. A person who goes up to the moon or goes into space to work on the space center up there. So great job on practicing AU. Again, when you see AU, it is not a vowel team in this case. It's an exception to the vowel team rule. And so we don't say A, we say aw, aw. And when we're writing words with AU, AU comes in the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word. It's one of those things that you're going to just have to practice writing so that you can learn how to spell it. So great job. I'll talk to you soon.